بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to another lesson of English subject for grade 3. Students, we had finished short questions and then we moved on to the long questions in the story. Dorothy meets the Scarecrow, and we are doing the questions and answers, the long questions and answers of this exercise in written form today. Now, as you remember that yesterday we discussed these questions. I explained the meanings of the words in these questions. If you had any kind of difficulty, you could have taken the help of that video just to write the answers in your own words. Today I put all these questions into words just for those students who had difficulty in writing them in their neat notebooks as their homework. So the students who had difficulty in writing them in their neat notebooks, in finding the correct words for the answers, they can take help of this video. And the students who have already written the answers of these questions can compare their answers with my answers. They can tally their answers with my answers and take out their own mistakes. Let's move on to the first question, in which is how do we know the Scarecrow is kind and polite? How do we know the Scarecrow is kind and polite? Kind means helpful and caring. Kind means helpful and caring. Polite means nice and friendly. Nice and friendly. Both of them have more or less same meaning. Kind is polite, polite is kind, kind is helpful, helpful is kind, polite is friendly, friendly is polite. So let's move on to the answer. How do we know? How can you tell that the Scarecrow is kind and polite? The Scarecrow is kind and polite because he greets Dorothy politely and helps her carry the basket. The Scarecrow is kind and polite because he greets Dorothy politely and helps her carry the basket. Now, one possible mistake which I expected from the students was that some of the students write was in the answer and they forget that there was is in the question. So you should write is in the answer too. So the Scarecrow is kind. The Scarecrow is kind and polite. The Scarecrow is kind and polite because now if it is, then the remaining answer will also be in the present tense, simple present tense, and which is he greets Dorothy politely. He greets means say hello, say good morning or good evening, whatever. That is called greeting. Okay, and to say welcome is also kind of greeting. So he greets Dorothy politely and helps her carry the basket. He greets Dorothy politely and helps her carry the basket. Now let's move on to the next question. But before moving on to the next question, don't forget to draw a finishing line in the end of the question. Don't forget to draw a finishing line in the end of the question. Now you can see that I have drawn the finishing line too. You also draw finishing line like this. Now this is our next question. Can you explain why Scarecrow is afraid of lighted match? Can you explain why Scarecrow is afraid of lighted match? Now we had discussed the reason that Scarecrow's body was filled with straw and straw can easily catch fire. So a lighted match can destroy a scarecrow completely. It can finish the scarecrow completely. Let's write the answer. Okay, the answer for this question is the scarecrow is afraid of a lighted match because his body is stuffed with straw which can catch fire easily and can destroy the scarecrow completely. Now I have written a long sentence. It is one sentence. There is no full stop here. It is ending up only here. So the scarecrow is afraid of a lighted match because his body is stuffed with straw which can catch fire easily and can destroy the scarecrow completely. The scarecrow is frightened of a lighted match because his body is stuffed with straw. His body is filled with straw which can catch fire easily. Straw can catch fire easily and can destroy the scarecrow completely, can finish the scarecrow completely, can harm the scarecrow completely, can damage the scarecrow completely. So, fire is dangerous for a scarecrow because his body is stuffed with straw and can catch fire easily. Now it's the time that we move on to the third and last question. And what was it? Do you remember? The question was, the scarecrow says that he does not have a brain. Is it possible to walk and talk without a brain? Our question is, the scarecrow says he doesn't have a brain. Is it possible to walk and talk without a brain? The scarecrow says that he doesn't have a brain. Now we will not put a question mark here because it is just a statement. It is just a sentence. We will not put a question mark here. We will just put a full stop here. The scarecrow says that he doesn't have a brain. Is it possible to walk and talk without a brain? Here you will put the question mark. So, for this answer, I suggested you that you can use your own words. You can either say yes, you can either say no. So, what's the answer? This is another possible answer for this question, that no, it is not possible to walk and talk without a brain. The scarecrow is able to do so because it is not a real story. The question was, is it possible to walk and talk without a brain? So the answer for this portion is no, it is not possible to walk and talk without a brain. But why the scarecrow was able to do so? He did not have a brain. Still he was able to walk and talk. So the answer for this is the scarecrow is able to do so because it is not a real story. It is not a real story. Okay, not real stories are called fictions. Not real stories are called fiction. The things which cannot happen in our life and it happens in a story. So that story is a fiction. That story is a fiction. So let's review these answers. No, it is not possible to walk and talk without a brain. The scarecrow is able to do so. Like the scarecrow is able to walk and talk because it is not a real story. It is not a real story. Now students, I hope that this video lesson has helped you a lot, and the students who could not put these answers into words are now able to write these answers. I hope I'm going to receive your homework very soon, and I hope everyone is doing the homework regularly. Thanks for your time.
اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما.